All right, Hamilton here with Functional Versatility. The first open workout for 2022 has been announced. 22.1 is a 15-minute AMRAP, 3 wall walks, a 15-minute AMRAP of 3 wall walks, 12 alternating dumbbell snatches, and 15 box jump overs with a new standard where you must step down. For those of you that are following our affiliate design, you know that we have programmed this about 4 or 5 times with this standard. So we called it, thankfully. But you guys are definitely ready, and we'll talk about the advantage of this standard here in a second. So I want to break this down movement by movement. The workout as a whole is probably going to feel more aerobic for those of you that these are more of your strong suit because it is on the longer side with being 15 minutes. So you're not going to feel as much local fatigue on this as you are going to be breathing heavier. But if it's not, these movements are in your wheelhouse, and this is probably going to be more of a locally fatiguing workout. So you're probably going to feel it primarily in your shoulders, and you're probably going to feel it some in your lower back from the snatches, and probably some fatigue in your feet since you're going to be doing such a high volume of box jump overs. Stepping down will help with that, but we'll talk about that more in depth here in a second. So for the wall walks, I would highly recommend not going touch and go, so not coming down and then immediately popping back up. Since this workout is on the longer side, you do not want to come out super hot. So you want to make sure that you are at least taking a small break, whether it be a 2-second break or something like that in between each rep. I would highly recommend also finding a cadence or a rhythm for each wall walk. That way you can mimic the rep for rep. That way you can kind of focus on that more so than how tired you are while you're doing wall walks. So whether it be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 1, 2, 3 drop, something like that where you can count repetitively in your head, that's going to give you a big advantage. So I would highly recommend that to maximize your performance on wall walks. One thing is, do not rest your chest on the ground. Keep your hands on the line and then prop yourself into a quadruped position. That way your chest isn't compressed on the ground. If you are going to rest on these, then I would highly recommend staying in that quadruped position with your fingers still on the line, so that way you can go directly into the next rep without having to touch your chest again. Definitely would recommend doing that. It's going to help save your breathing, and it's not going to be, you're not going to feel like you're compressed and not able to breathe if you're resting on the ground. So use that strategy too. We have touched on these a lot, not only for our individuals, but for the affiliates as well. So you guys are definitely ready for these. For the dumbbell snatches, this is a movement that we've hammered throughout the season, especially in the 4th quarter of our season. For the dumbbell snatches, do not come out super hot on these as well. Find a good pace, probably around like 80 to 90%, and then just hang on as best as you can. One thing that will help you with these is breathe throughout your snatches. So as you come back down, don't hold your breath each rep. Try and breathe throughout. That way you're not using as much energy to get them done, and that's going to help your heart rate stay a little bit steadier. Since this is a movement you're more familiar with, you can definitely take advantage of it by using that breathing technique as opposed to holding your breath. So take advantage of that as well. For the box jump overs, again, we've programmed this variation 4 or 5 times in the 4th quarter of our season, so you guys are definitely familiar with this. With the box jump overs, this type of variation will help slow you down just a tad. So you need to find a good rhythm with these, similar to the dumbbell snatch. Find a good rhythm, that way you can make each rep the same, and you're thinking less and just focusing more so on the movement that way. So make sure that you try your best not to stop. This variation won't burn your feet out as bad, so you should be able to keep a good rhythm, keep consistent reps. That way you're not burning yourself out doing bounding. So this, I think, will actually play in your favor in terms of keeping your sets identical across the board. I think that's pretty much it in terms of my strategy for this. I would highly recommend for the higher level athletes to keep about a 2-second pause in between each rep on the wall walks, and the rest of this is just work, honestly. So just put your head down and get through those sets as best as you can. If these are not stronger movements for you, I think 12 dumbbell snatches is enough where you can still go unbroken, and just find a good consistent pace on the box jump overs. If this is one that you have trouble finding rhythm with, I would highly recommend practicing it prior. That way you can kind of hopefully find yourself in a rhythm where you can continuously do it throughout the sets. If this workout's definitely going to be on the tougher side for you, then I would recommend taking your time on the wall walks, as that's the most complex movement that you're going to do for this workout specifically. So maybe slow your pace down a little bit on these and focus on making sure you're not getting any no reps, making sure that you're moving consistently. On the dumbbell snatches, again, 12's not that many. So if you need to break, I would break maybe once. So maybe do 6 and 6 or 8 and 4, something in that nature. That way you are still moving quickly, but not breaking up too much. And on the box jump overs, again, since you are supposed to be stepping down on these, that will allow you to keep a consistent pace. So with this, it's 15 minutes, so do not come out hot. Make sure that you control yourself in the beginning. Maybe you can time out your rounds, so that way you can stick to a strategy. Also, very, very important, CrossFit has come out with staging standards for this. So please make sure you refer to the layout on games.crossfit.com, so that way you know that you are setting yourself up correctly, especially for those of you that are looking to make it to the next level. If you have any questions regarding 22.1, whether you are a part of one of our affiliates or if you're our individual or one of our individuals, please feel free to reach out to Kaylin and myself, and we'll help you be successful. And you guys can go smash this and have some fun.